Thank you all so much for having me. It's funny, this is the first time I've been like in person in a long time. And so I'm so glad to be here. It's a little bit kind of awkward. I'm like, man, like everything's been on Zoom and I'm all zoomed out. So I'm back to be like in front of real people with like real ice cream that y'all might have to toss me one of those in a little bit. I'm really excited. You got me? I'm holding you to it. So it's funny, as I was coming up here and thinking through and praying through and asking God, what do we need to hear? Two things came to mind. Life and death. Life and death. You know, I came in last night and I got into the hotel and it was kind of resting. I got up this morning and I got up and got some food and I ran into the lady at the front desk and I wanted to just play a little basketball. It's kind of my love language. Yes, I play football, but basketball is it's the sixth love language. And so I asked the lady at the front, I said, hey, can I get a basketball? She said, sure. She walked to the back, had a little limp to her, and she went to the back and she was looking and I saw a ball right there. And I was like, hey, can you grab that ball for me? She said, sure. I said, hey, we could play some one-on-one, right? Just kind of laughing and joking. And she said, hey, I'd love to play you, but ever since the injury, I haven't been able to really play. I said, what injury? Thinking, I play football. I've broken a leg before. What injury? Let's talk about it. She said, about 5 years ago, I was in a car accident. The steering wheel actually went all the way inside of my stomach. I shouldn't be alive today. I said, what happened? Like, what do you mean? Like, she said, well, I was coming back from a baseball tournament with my two young sons, and I was pulling out, and we stopped, and I was pulling out, and this car didn't see me, and it just rammed right into the car. Shouldn't be alive. And so me, like, I was thinking about a basketball game. Let me hear this story. Like, tell me what happened. And she said that, I don't remember anything outside of waking up a week later. And all I remember during that time was just this voice saying, everything is going to be okay. This voice I kept on hearing, I don't remember anything outside of this one voice that said, everything is going to be okay. And I knew it was Jesus speaking to me. Everything's going to be okay. She said, I shouldn't be alive. Just yesterday, so those who don't know, I played at the University of Texas, played for the Arizona Cardinals for 4 years, Chicago Bears for 4 years, Tampa Bay for 1 year. I literally just missed the Super Bowl by a few weeks. I'm still mad. I know, you think y'all feel bad. I felt bad. Yeah, y'all, if I get a ring, y'all come to the Super Bowl party with me. And, and I got a chance, I'm doing some broadcasting, and so I was in Austin, Texas a few weeks ago doing the spring game, and one of my good friends, he was a quarterback there. He just got drafted to the Colts. His name is Sam Ellinger, phenomenal player, phenomenal dude. Some of y'all already know where we're going with this. I texted him a couple days ago, congratulations, dream come true. He said, thank you so much. And we hadn't talked since then. Well, just yesterday, I got a message from my brother saying, hey, did you hear about Sam's younger brother, Jake? I said, no, what happened? Right, Jake plays for the football team. He was there a couple weeks ago when I was there. He said, Jake just lost his life. Life, death. We're coming out of this period, whether it's COVID, a lot of us have lost loved ones. Talk about even like race relations. A lot of people who look like me have lost loved ones. And then identity-wise, we're saying, okay, who are we as a people, as a church, as a country? We've lost a lot. So I'm thinking, okay, God, what do you want me to say? What do you want us to do? What is this really about? And the only words that could come to mind were life and death. So you're alive today because God has a purpose for you. And a lot of people may not really believe that. Some people in this room may not believe that. You are alive today because God still has a plan. He still has a purpose. He still has great things in store. Jeremiah 29:11, we all know it. For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord. Plans for you to prosper, not to harm you, to give you a future and a hope. But he goes on in verse 12 and 13, he says, then you will call upon me. This is God speaking to his people who were in exile, who were going through some stuff. He said, then you will call upon me and I will answer you. He said, you will seek me and you will find me when you seek me with your whole heart. So I was talking with Brenda, the lady at the front desk. I said, Brenda, like, so that was tough, but you're still alive. Well, what's going on now? Well, now she's going through a divorce. And she's wondering, why does this keep on happening? I love Jesus. Like, I'm following him, but it seems like there's trial after trial after trial, setback after setback after setback, loss after loss after loss. I don't get it. I don't get it. Talk about the quarterback, Sam Ehlinger. He lost his dad about 5-7 years ago. Now he loses his brother. Think about his mom. Life and death. So the second question I started to ask, outside of like, why am I still alive? What are we here for? Is the question of where do you go to find God? Because he said, you're going to seek me and you're going to find me when you seek me with your whole heart. So it posed the question of where do you go to find God? Because a lot of times we get happy about success and follows and likes and social media and Super Bowls and rings, but we often forget that the road less traveled, the narrow path, is a path that Jesus walked. He says, take up your cross and follow me. Take up your cross and follow me. And as you think about the life that we live, oftentimes the goals that we strive for, it's these pretty picturesque moments. But Jesus says there's a better way. The road of suffering. The road of suffering. What would you give up for someone else? About a year ago, call it a year and a half now, lost my sister-in-law. I mean, it's funny, even like I come up here and I'm talking about this. I had never experienced like death or loss or anything my entire life. I think I went to like one funeral and it was like a teammate's friend. And all of a sudden it seems like it's blow after blow after blow. And as we were sitting with her at her funeral, my dad started talking about, he's a pastor as well, and started talking about what it means to live your life on purpose, to accomplish the things that God has for you, and then fall asleep. To accomplish what God has for you, and then fall asleep. This earth is not our home. It never was. That's why we don't get satisfied with the likes or with the follows. That's why we don't get satisfied with the clout. This never was. And I think somewhere along the line we believe the lie. I think somewhere along the line we believe the lie that things are supposed to be easy. Life's supposed to be a walk in the park. I started off this talk about talking a little bit about my injuries, right? I had a broken leg in 2013, a torn pec in 2018, and people often ask, hey, what were your best memories in your football career, football life? In all reality, my best memories, my favorite times, the things that I remember the most, the seasons of injury, seasons of loss, the times where I was limping. And the reason those times are most important is because that's when I found God. He said, you'll seek me and you'll find me when you seek me with your whole heart. If you have everything, you may not be seeking him wholeheartedly. I feel like I had it all taken away. been a starter. I set the sack record as a rookie. My second year, I started every single game. People said, man, I played for the Cardinals. You're going to be an Arizona Cardinal for life. I had it all. I was good. I was Gucci. I was. I'm like, it was contract year, right? Year 3 contract. Everything was great. Everything was perfect. And then week 3 of my 3rd season playing the New Orleans Saints, I just sacked Drew Brees. Shout out to you, retired now. I was gonna post a picture of me sacking him as a retirement, but I was like, that's not a good look. Let me show some love. I was this close. I was like, do I do it? Do I do it? And I didn't do it. I know, I didn't do it. And just sacked Drew Brees, and all of a sudden, a simple play, 23 crossbuck, I'm rushing the quarterback, and boom, somebody falls on my leg, and I break my leg, and I'm out for the season. Best believe I was on my knees. I found God then. I found God then. Fast forward to 2018, recovered from the injury. I'm still playing now for the Chicago Bears and just earned a multi-year, multi-million-dollar contract, the first time in my entire career. I was like the last guy on the roster. Well, not really, but kind of. You know, I never had the big deals, right? Never had the big deals. And I signed my first big deal. And I thought I was a big deal. 4th game of the season, on a kickoff return play, I'm trying to block someone, and I tear my pec. Out for the season. I found God then. Fast forward a couple months ago, COVID, right? COVID-19. You see people losing lives, and it's like, man, hopefully they'll be okay. Let me pray. My mom, my dad get COVID. In the hospital. My dad was in the ICU for 7 days. My dad was in the ICU for 7 days. And each and every one of those days, yes, I was calling him, but I was calling God. I found God then. You see, it's in the time of struggle, of doubt, of pain, of confusion, of fear. You learn a new name for God. The name I learned for God was a God who heals. Healed my dad. He's alive and well. God still has a purpose for him. Healed my, yep. He healed my pec. I went back and played another year in the NFL. Healed my leg. People say break a leg. Don't say it. It's not a good thing. Don't break a leg. Like, it's not what you think. It's not what you think. It's for acting, right? No, actors don't break their legs either. I found God then. See, as I was talking to Brenda at the hotel, talking about how she almost lost her life, just lost her marriage, and I'm sitting trying to encourage her. She encouraged me. She said, I know I'm here for a reason. She adopted 4 kids. 2 of them were in the car that day. They're both alive. Jesus. She found God then. But then you wonder, what about the loss? Right? What about when we don't make it? What about when you're in the fear and the doubt and the pain and the frustration? Where do you go to find God? And my answer is you go to the valley. You go to the valley. Brenda said, I felt like I was on the valley, but the thing that God reminded me of was that he took me from the valley before and he brought me up to the top and I could see where I came from. So now that even though I'm back here, I know that God took me from here to there. I may feel like I'm here again, but my spirit is up with him. I found God then. The year I tore my pec, I was out for the season. I got released by the team that just signed me to this multi-year deal. They cut me halfway through my deal. I had no team, no job, half a leg. Found God. I found God. Don't believe the lie. There's no such thing as a perfect marriage. No such thing as a perfect son or a perfect daughter, a perfect job, a perfect house. But where will you go to find God? I think about kind of where I'm at in life right now. I'm going through a transition. Played the last 9 years in the NFL, and I literally don't know what I'm going to do next. I love speaking. I love writing. I wrote a book, this came out before Christmas, called Let the World See You, How to Be Real in a World Full of Fakes. I love doing stuff on TV. Like, I love that, but I left all of this. I think some of us are leaving the things that we've loved. I love that. I left this. I'm saying, okay, God, why? Like, why didn't I play the extra years I thought I was going to play? Why didn't I get the ring that I thought I was going to get? God, why didn't I become the captain that I thought I deserved to be? Why? Then I thought about where he took me from. You know, those 9 years in the NFL, in a lot of ways, was just a setup, right? Setup from God. I thought that was my thing. This is my thing. This is what I'm going to go hold on to. This is what's going to take me to the next level. And little did I know that was just a setup. That's just a little thing. God said, I know the plans. That might have been part of the plans, but there's so much more. I want you on stages encouraging millions, thousands, hundreds, the one. So you thought that was a big deal. For me, that's nothing. You know who I am? I feel like sometimes we need to approach God and get to know who he is. Do you know who I am? You know, if you couldn't tell, I'm a relatively larger guy, right? 6'3", 260, linebacker in the NFL, but I can be pretty emotional at times. And I just think about, like, where do I go to find God? Because I love the image, right? You want to look good and get the followers and all those things, right? I don't know if it was mentioned earlier, I'm married, got 3 kids, and I want them to see God. I want them to know God. I want them to follow God. But the problem is I wrote this whole book about what it means to be seen, to be known, to be loved, to be authentic, to be real. And I could be that with all of you, but for whatever reason, I couldn't be that with them. You know, when I heard the news about another loss a couple weeks ago, I was just finishing a podcast, and it was with a man who his mom was one of the 9 people shot and killed at St. Emmanuel Church in South Carolina. We talked for about an hour and a half about his story, his struggle. Finished that conversation, got a text from my brother about a friend of ours from high school, stage 4 cancer. I saw the text. My wife was upstairs with our youngest, our 2-year-old. She started to come downstairs. Before she came downstairs, I saw the text. I felt the pain. I wanted to cry. I started to cry. And as soon as I heard those steps come down, I wanted to cover it up. Don't let her see me weak. Don't let her see me not strong. She didn't see me cry that day, so then I went on and went to go pick up the kids, listening to worship music, and I'm thinking about, like, what's going on? Life and death. God, why? I picked up the 2 oldest from school, driving back, the music is playing, the tears start to come up again, and all of a sudden, I don't want my kids to see me cry. But what does it mean to be real, to be authentic, to live this life? You go on these stages, you write this book, but can you do it yourself? I call my friend, he's like, dude, give that gift to your son. That's a gift. You being you being real, you being authentic, you showing them where you go to find God, that's a gift. Give that gift to your son. My 6-year-old, he's like me. He's big kid, like big, tall, strong, but he's emotional, right? He cries all the time. And anytime he cries, I'll say, hey, man, let it out. Let it out, because I know what it's like to keep it in. I would say, let it out. Well, a couple days ago, literally right before I came on this trip here, I felt like God told me, because I want to go far, man. I want to make an impact for the kingdom. But I feel like God told me, you got to let go. You're not going to grow until you let go of the pretense, of the image. Got to let go. So I'm getting ready for this trip, literally the day I'm supposed to go to the airport, and I still hadn't let that guard down, and I'm sitting in my house, turn the music on again, when I felt those emotions start to rise. I felt like God had just told me, you got to let go. And so all of a sudden, I'm like, all right, God, here it is. This is me. I'm not holding back anymore. Tears start to come out. My son walks in. My wife walks in. Instead of me, I just let him see it. The real me. Not the put together, perfect. The real. The authentic. My son sits on my lap, and because I'm thinking about these people who have been lost. Like, did they know Jesus? My friend from high school, did he know Jesus? This college, my friend's younger brother in college, did he know Jesus? And I'm crying. My son sits on my lap. He puts his hand on my shoulder, almost as if he was rocking me, a 6-year-old. And he says, it's okay, Daddy, let it out. It's okay, Daddy, let it out. As I close, what I'm here to tell you is that it's okay to be human. It's okay to be weak. Paul said, when I'm weak, that's when Christ is strong. It's okay to be weak. It's okay to be imperfect. It's okay to lose a loved one, to lose a marriage, to lose a child, to lose a friend. It's okay. This earth is not our home. For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord, plans for you to prosper. Maybe not just currently right now. You might feel like you're in a valley right now, but prosper, not to harm you, to give you a future and a hope. But you gotta go find God. You have to go find God. And it's not gonna be in the pretty places. May not be on Instagram with the filters. But somehow, some way, for Brenda, it was in her car. She drives an hour to work every single day. Hadn't worked for 22 years. But with the divorce, she has to work now. In her car. Listens to worship music, and her kids see her talk to God. She said, that's my gift to them. For me, it's through my tears. Through my book. What it means to be seen, to be known, to be loved, to be real. I can't just talk about it, I gotta be about it. So my question for each and every one of you, as we talk about the importance of life and death, is where do you go to find God? We're excited, we're celebrating, we're rejoicing, we got the balloons, the ice cream, I'm holding you to your word, I need some later. But at the end of the day, we serve a very real God who has very real love for each and every one of us. And the fact that you are alive today, because Lord knows some of us may have tried. Lord knows some of us may have tried to end it. The fact that you are alive today means that God has very good plans. Yes, you broke your leg. Yes, you tore your pec. Yes, you got that divorce. Yes, you lost your child. But God has very, very, very good plans. Claim that. Believe that. Walk in that. Even if you don't believe, pray for belief. The fact that you're alive today means that God is not done with you yet. Life, death, where will you go to find God? Thank you.